The car you drive is either building your wealth or destroying it. And most people have absolutely no idea which one is happening to them. Years ago, James was sitting in a 2003 Honda Civic with 180,000 miles on it, a cracked dashboard, and a check engine light that had been on so long he forgot it was even there. That car cost him $2,200. It broke down twice in 1 month. His co-workers laughed. His friends told him to just go finance something new. He didn't listen. And that one decision, choosing not to buy a car he couldn't afford, is what started everything. Because here's what nobody ever teaches you. Your car is not just a purchase. It's a direct reflection of your financial discipline. The wrong car at the wrong wealth level can silently drain thousands of dollars from your net worth every single year. And most people never even realize it's happening. Think about this. The average American spends over $12,000 a year on their vehicle. Payments, insurance, gas, and repairs combined. Over 10 years, that's $120,000 gone. Not invested, not saved, gone. James figured this out early, and today we're going to follow his entire journey from that broken $2,200 Civic all the way to the moment he has to choose between a Porsche and a Rolls-Royce, 5 wealth levels, 5 car decisions, and the exact rules James used at each one to keep building instead of going broke. Let's start from 0. Level 1, broke, $0 to $15,000 net worth. Here's something nobody warns you about when you're broke. Cheap cars are not cheap to own. James kept his $2,200 Civic. Smart move. But the real danger at this level isn't the car you're driving. It's the car your brain is telling you to buy. At $0 to $15,000 net worth, you are in pure survival mode. And the worst thing you can do right now is walk into a dealership. The average person at this level gets talked into financing an $18,000 car on a $35,000 salary. That's a $380 payment every month for 60 months. And by the time it's paid off, the car is worth $7,000. You just paid $22,800 for a $7,000 asset. And you wonder why you can't save money. James almost did it. He walked into a dealership. A salesman showed him a shiny 2019 Hyundai Elantra, and for about 20 minutes he was ready to sign. Then he pulled out his phone and did the math. $380 a month for 60 months. That's $22,800 out of his pocket. If he invested that same $380 a month instead at just 8% annual return, after 5 years, he'd have $28,000. He walked out. The right move at this level is a reliable Japanese used car, a Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, or Mazda 3, under $6,000, under 100,000 miles. Pay cash, no payments. Your only job at this wealth level is to get to work, stay reliable, and build. James drove that Civic for 2 more years, and those 2 years changed everything. Level 2 plus 3, working class plus middle class, $15,000 to $150,000. Most people think the danger zone for car mistakes is when you're broke. It's not. The real danger zone is right here, $15,000 to $150,000 net worth. This is where 80% of Americans make the mistake that keeps them stuck in the middle class forever. James's net worth hit $40,000. He had saved aggressively, invested consistently, and his income was growing. For the first time in years, he felt financially stable, and that feeling is exactly what the car industry is designed to exploit. At $15,000 to $50,000 net worth, the right car is a 3 to 5 year old used sedan, Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, Mazda 6. Budget to you $10,000 to $14,000. No financing if possible. The 10% rule is your anchor. Your car should never be worth more than 10% of your net worth. At $40,000 net worth, your maximum car value is $4,000. At $50,000, it's $5,000. James bought a 2017 Honda Accord for $12,500. Cash, no payments. Smart. But then his net worth crossed $80,000. Middle class territory. And this is where it gets really dangerous. At $80,000 to $150,000 net worth, people start financing $28,000 to $35,000 cars. $547 a month for 60 months. They think they can afford it because the payment feels small. Here's what they never calculate. That same $547 a month invested in the S&P 500 for 5 years at 10% average return, that's $42,000. You didn't just buy a depreciating car. You sold your future $42,000. James watched his coworkers finance brand new cars, one by one. He kept the Accord, and quietly, his net worth kept climbing. Upper middle class plus high earner, $151 million. James's net worth just crossed $200,000. And for the first time, he let himself look at something he had never allowed himself to consider before: a BMW. Here's the truth about the $150,000 to $1 million net worth range. This is the level where buying a nice car actually starts to make financial sense, if you do it right. Upper middle class, $150,000 to $400,000 net worth, entry luxury territory, BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, Mercedes C-Class. James found a 3-year-old BMW 3 Series for $29,000. At $200,000 net worth, that's 14.5%, slightly above the 10% rule, but manageable given where his income was heading. He almost leased instead. And this is the trap that silently destroys upper middle class wealth. Leasing a $52,000 BMW on $200,000 net worth means $650 a month for a car you will never own, that you return in 3 years with mileage limits. You are renting a depreciating asset at premium price. James didn't lease. He bought the used 3 Series outright. As his net worth pushed toward $600,000 high earner territory, the math shifted again. At $400,000 to $1 million net worth, a $60,000 to $80,000 car is completely reasonable. Tesla, Model S, Mercedes, E-Class, BMW 5 Series. But only used, only under 10% of net worth, and only after investments are maxed. James bought a 2-year-old Tesla Model S for $58,000 when his net worth hit $650,000. That's 8.9%. Clean, calculated, no guilt. $1 million was now in sight, and James was about to face the biggest car decision of his life: millionaire to ultra rich, $1 million plus. Here's something that will completely change how you think about wealthy people and cars. The number one vehicle driven by American millionaires, people with $1 million or more in net worth, is not a Ferrari, not a Porsche, not even a Mercedes. It's the Ford F-150. Over 61% of millionaires drive American-made vehicles because real wealth is built by not spending it, not by showing it off. James crossed $1 million, and yes, he bought a Porsche 911, used, 3 years old, $94,000. At $1.2 million net worth, that's 7.8% of his total wealth. Earned, deserved, smart. But here's what changed at this level. The car was no longer an emotional decision. It was a calculated one. At $1 million to $5 million net worth, cars like the Porsche 911, BMW M5, And Mercedes S-Class makes sense. Only if your assets are already generating income that covers the cost. Above $5 million? Ferrari Roma at $230,000? Lamborghini Urus at $240,000? Rolls-Royce Ghost starting at $350,000? At this level, these aren't big purchases. They're a fraction of a single year's passive income. At $10 million in net worth generating $400,000 a year, one Rolls-Royce is literally 12 months of money working while you sleep. But James never forgot that $2,200 Civic, the cracked dashboard, the check engine light nobody fixed. Because none of this happened because he bought the right cars. It happened because for years, he refused to buy the wrong ones. The car you drive today is not just metal and wheels. It is a choice between looking wealthy and actually becoming wealthy. James chose becoming every single time. Now it's your turn.
Hey, if this video gave you something to think about, that's exactly why I make these every single day. Most of this stuff nobody ever teaches you, and I just think that needs to change. So if you got value today, hit subscribe.